Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai is the Messiah, the only begotten Son of the Heavenly Father, which these are the true names of the Most High and His only begotten Son in the ancient Hebrew tongue, in Lashon Kodash, which means holy language or pure language. Also want to give double honors to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the upcoming elders that rule well, that teach well, of great millstone and peace and blessings unto the elect, the house of David, the 144,000 men, whoever you may be, and salute and shalom to the fellow laborers pushing His truth, testifying of Yahweh Shai, and publishing this word. The scripture speaks about, in fact, Yahweh Shai saith out of His own mouth, which is ultimately the doctrine of Yahweh. Blessed are the peacemakers, or blessed be the peacemakers, which is you teachers, you prophets, those who teach this word and testify of Yahweh Shai. You're blessed in this prophet, in that work of yours, which is ultimately the work of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right, but anyways, my name is Zakaria, and the focus of this lesson is surrounding, the majority of Israel, which ultimately will be destroyed in these last days, put to death in these last days, condemned in these last days through the fierce anger of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Because ultimately we're living in prophetic times, and we're coming into prophetic times, a time where the Lord will bring mass judgment, mass death, depopulation across the four corners of the earth, especially over here in the fourth part of the earth, which is what? The Americas. And this is major prophecy, a time where great troubles and misery will come upon all men, but only you elect will make it through it, will survive, will persevere. And this is a time considered to be what? Jacob troubles. A term that can be found in the book of Jeremiah, if I'm not mistaken, Jeremiah chapter 30. A term, pertaining to, as I just said, a time of mass judgment. And this is a time that the Lord will bring as a recompense for the majority of our people. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians, who are ultimately the true children of Israel by blood, according to prophecy and according to the Spirit, to the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But though, we may be Israel, not all Israel is going to be saved. You have a remnant, a small portion compared to the rest, compared to the majority of Israel. You have a portion of Israel that will be saved, considered to be the elect. But as far as the majority, not all Israel is going to be saved. And this is why. Because the spiritual demon Satan really has his claws around the mind of Jacob. Due to, these different factors on this earth, but nonetheless, the spiritual demon Satan is affecting the mind of the majority, man. So at the end of the day, they're unprofitable, they're good for nothing, ultimately in the sight of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, just waiting to be destroyed, ultimately. And that's just, the harsh, bitter reality that we come to learn in this truth, right? To touch upon this photo, you have an Israelite woman, a mother, basically looking with disgust at her two sons. One son throwing up, a hand gesture, which is, commonly used. I won't consider it to be a gang sign or nothing like that. This is used by everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people, whether they be in gangs or not, right? And beside the one son, you have the other son who is emasculated and effeminate, you know, dressed in all pink, a sodomite, basically. Now, this is just a moment, you know, a short moment. So who knows if that's her face, or she really is, in disgust or disappointment, or disappointed in her two sons. But this photo just basically demonstrates to you why our people has to be destroyed, man. You know, and what's missing in this photo? A father, a father, man. But let's jump straight into the scriptures, man. But this, basically, this basically is a representation of the black community. You have, you know, all sorts of Jakes. You have the one Jake, you know, who's in the streets, or who participate in the streets, or who, portray that image, you know, of a YN, so-called, using modern terminology, this new age terminology. And you got the other Jake, who's a damn effeminate, sodomite. You know, this is a great representation of the black family. You know, so let's just jump straight into the scriptures. I want to go into the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 2, because at the end of the day, we are in a spiritual warfare, and really, there be those, which is the majority, who were set up from the beginning to fail in this war, in this battle, ever since they came out of the womb, set up for failure. Right, but when it comes to your elect, the Lord will likely go into that as well. Though you were subject, onto the enemy, subject onto the spiritual demon Satan, the Lord had mercy upon you and subjected you to hope. The Lord have redeemed you or released you from the spiritual demon Satan and brought you into repentance, onto the light, onto Yahweh Shai, onto the truth. And that's beyond blessed, because the majority don't have the opportunity to experience that, to take part in that. So, let's just jump straight into the lesson. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2. It says, wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world. Yup, before this truth, we all walked according to the course of this world. In some way, some form, whether you was thieves, in the streets, or, participating in magic or witchcraft, sorcery, or adulterer or adulteress, in some way, some form, we all walked according to the course of this world. But this the point. It says, according to the prince of the power of the air. Now that's referring to the spiritual demon Satan, which is a title that he have. The prince of the power of the air. Now, when you go into that word prince, it goes into what? Chieftain or captain. And this show you that even devils, even the spirits have order. There's order even in the spiritual realm. On the spiritual plane. Even Satan has his order. Understand order to some degree. Not to say that, he don't do contrary to order. Not to say that he don't bring confusion, but even amongst demons, spirits, there's order. Evil spirits, there's order. And this proves it. Satan, he carries the title of a prince. In fact, to prove it, let's go into the word prince, which ultimately goes into a chief, a first in rank or power, a chief, a commander, a leader. So the spiritual demon Satan, he's over other spirits, which we will consider to be, evil spirits, demons, or devils, whatever you want to call them. And there's a great number of them. Now, we don't know how many, we don't know everything, pertaining to the spiritual side of things, But, the number of evil spirits cover the whole earth, can cover the whole earth. Shit, possibly can cover, cover the whole, can cover the earth threefold, fivefold, can't really, go, detail into it. Don't know everything. But just showing you that the spiritual demon Satan, is really, affecting the minds of society, man. The mind of the people, the mind of the majority. This is the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. Now, when you go into that word worketh, it means to what? To affect, ultimately. You'll get the word to affect. So the spiritual demon Satan, we can also include, evil spirits, devils, demons, whatever you want to call them, evil forces, is affecting the mind of who? The children of disobedience. Which is who? The majority of Israel outside of this truth. Those who are outside of this truth. Now the Lord has children who are obedient, which is who? You elect. You believers, those who obey the truth, who hear his truth, understand it, and believe. But the rest of Israel, they're known as the children of disobedience. Also the children of wrath, as is, illustrated, in the book of, I think, um, Colossians, if I'm not mistaken, chapter 3. But there's factors that, the spiritual demon Satan use to corrupt you, Jakes, shall I say, One main factor is Esau Edom, who is the physical counterpart of Satan, who is an adversary on this physical plane. Esau, which is a so-called white man, of the nation of Edom, which is a nation whom the Lord hates, as is proved, or mentioned in the scriptures. Also known as the border of wickedness. This people, not talking about the common Edomite or woman, man, woman, or child. No, those who govern the earth to some degree. The elites, secret societies, the governments, your kings, those who control this world behind closed doors, man. They are a major factor that contribute to that corruption on part with, the spiritual demon Satan. Esau known as the man of lawlessness or the man of sin. In Christianity, there's a false conception concerning the man of sin mentioned in the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Because thinking that the man of sin is the Antichrist. No, that's false. The scriptures says there are many antichrists. There's not no main antichrist. There's many antichrists. Now Esau is someone who opposed Yahweh, opposed the truth, opposed Yahweh, opposed the saints. They're an antichrist. Really the majority, is antichrist. Really, the majority of the people who roam the earth is antichrist. Anti-truth. In some way, some form. Right, but concerning the man of sin, that's referring to Edom. Which is not concerning an individual, or rather a collective of people, a family, a nation. The nation of Edom, the family of Edom, who currently controls or dominates the world, governs the world as we know it today. Right, the so-called white man, He is the man of sin, the lawless man, the man who soon to be destroyed. And that's why he has the title of what? The son of perdition. Perdition goes into what? Damnation or destruction. And Esau, that's one of his major fates, or his lot. His future to be destroyed and to be cast down and to be brought into captivity. That's a major prophecy, man. Because Esau, the so-called white man, he is the nation who put up, really a fight. Not to say, a struggle like the Lord is struggling against Esau, but basically he's in opposition. Someone who contributes to the evil and to the oppression of the saints. Someone who contributes to the lies and wickedness and idolatry that's on the earth today. Someone who contributed heavily to the blasphemies and the false religions that dominate the world today, such as Christianity, the Catholic Church, and all these different types of, beliefs. So he is that man of sin, and he is a major factor that is in one accord, that is aligned with how Satan works, with how the spiritual demon Satan work, being his physical counterpart. Because the thing, when it comes to this physical plane, nothing really happens on this physical plane unless it was prompted by something spiritual. See Esau, the so-called white man throughout the history, really, he has always been, a damn Satanist. He's always dealt with, witchcraft, sorcery, Satanism, he has always dealt with that. So no wonder the world that Esau have created today, especially this Western world, no wonder, it's also considered to be, the world of Satan. No wonder, man. Esau is in one accord, or is aligned with the spiritual demon Satan. And what's one of the things that Esau done on this earth that corrupted a whole people? You jakes. One of the things he done was what took, or really weaponized, the black woman against the man. Took the man out of the picture. Caused parents to have technology, television screens and social media to parent their own children. Esau also contributed to what the creation of the LGBTQ community. Promoted it, influenced it. Also portrayed, gang culture, and promoted it in different ways by way of the music industry, by way of Hollywood, glamorized it. Also programmed the black woman, to have a proud spirit, strong, independent. I can do it myself spirit. A lot of these things, of course, is of the spiritual demon Satan, but was contributed also by, the so-called white man. And this just to show you that Esau, he is the physical counterpart of Satan, man. He works hand in hand, whether knowingly or unknowingly, with the spiritual demon Satan, with evil forces, unknown, or shall I say unseen, shall I say, There's so many ways Jake has been destroyed, corrupted, morally, you know? And it makes you think, sin, he couldn't have really corrupted you people as much as he did without Esau, man. And I'm not gonna say, without, like he couldn't do it without him, but the spiritual demon saying, let me put it like this, did it through Esau, you know? And now you have our people with this type of mentality, with this type of way of thinking, reasoning, complex, you know, you know. Now you have our people corrupted. And there's so many ways how that was done, man. I just only, said a few. You know? Pushing drugs in the community, that's another one. Guns in the community, that's another one. Esau done. Sparking gang violence, that's another one. You know? Giving opportunity to those who, who participate, in gang violence, such as, putting, rappers and gangster rappers on a pedestal that all may see, that people may glamorize it. That's another way that the spiritual demons say and affect the mind of the majority, man. You know? 2 Thessalonians, I didn't read it, but I'm ready to read it now. Verse 9, it says, even him, which is concerning Esau, who's coming, is after the working of Satan. So he's in one accord with the spiritual demon Satan. So Esau, he comes in the energy of Satan, man. He's aligned with how Satan works. So there is a spiritual demon Satan, even though we call Esau Satan, there is a spiritual demon Satan who is a prince or a chief amongst devils, man. So really, we could say Esau, the so-called white man, he's really a damn medium, you know? The word medium. So let's go into that word medium real quick. Something in a middle position, a means of affecting or conveying something, a channel or system of communication, information, or entertainment. Let's see, where's the one I wanted to get? Salaki. An individual, this is the one I wanted to get. This is an individual held to be a channel of communication between the earthly world in a world of spirits. And this is what Esau is to some degree, in some way, to the spiritual demon Satan, to evil spirits, man. You know? For example, the music industry that's heavily involved with what? Sorcery, man. Satanism, you know? Well, who controls the music industry? The so-called white man. How much the music industry destroyed, you know, culture or black people, you know, or the majority. How much the music industry destroyed the people, man, in many ways, through different ways, promoting, you know, wicked ideologies, wicked values. Do what you will, you know, you know, please the flesh, carnal, you know, secular music, man. And I'm not, if you listen to music, you're able to keep yourself, keep your mind, in the process. Well, listen to music, then, fine, do what you do. But we cannot deny the evil effect of worldly music, man. You know, going all the way back to, the 70s, man. You know, even before gang culture, I'm sure, music destroyed the people to some degree. Or worldly music, not all music. No, I ain't gonna say that, you know, Hollywood as well, heavily involved with Satanism, sorcery, witchcraft, demonic activity. Who controls Hollywood? Esau, you know. Now today, which wasn't always the case. They're teaching LGBTQ to the kids, man. So Esau, he is, I'm not talking about your common Edomite. I'm talking about your kings, your princes, man, your politicians, your government, those who control the government. You know, they're the ones who are really, aligned with how Satan works. They're doing the part of Satan, man. They're doing the will of Satan. You know, the spirit that now worketh in the majority of Israel, right, affecting the minds of you people. And that's why people think how they think and move how they move. You know, being, bound or imprisoned by these different ideologies, opinions, belief systems that they hold, you know, deluded, you know, blinded by the illusion that was really covered over their eyes by the so-called white man. You know, you know, you know, not knowing the way of peace. Which, what is the way of peace? Fearing Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You know, keeping the commandments, believing, obeying, obedience to God. But that's something that is lacking in black culture. In the world in general, man. You know, even to going to When you go, you know, if you ask the world, you know, the idea what is love, even that is screwed and corrupted. You know how these people's perspective of what love is messed up. You know, you know, these females' perspective of what a woman is messed up. These people's perspective of what marriage is messed up. Is because there's a spirit working on their minds, man. It's because they were programmed by this world that was ultimately helped formed as we know it by Esau, the so-called white man, and by the spiritual demon Satan. Because the thing is, when throughout the ages of the earth, the different time periods of the earth, when there was a kingdom or an empire ruling, you know, above all the other, empires, that empire, to some degree would, or have an influence on the whole entire earth. Going back to Egypt, Egypt had an influence on the earth. There was a spirit on the earth back then. Going back to, the Greek Empire, there was a spirit on the earth, back then. A type of spirit on earth. Going back to the Roman Empire, there was a spirit on the earth, you know, or a type of, you know, basically what I'm trying to say is all these different great empires had an influence to some degree on the earth. Even Solomon, you think about Solomon, King Solomon, Israel under King Solomon, man. Okay, Israel had an influence on the earth, you know, to some degree. When you read the book of First Maccabees, it speaks about King Alexander the Great. After his death, the four generals under him, they all set crowns upon their heads and started ruling. And it implies that evils multiplied or wickedness multiplied on the earth during that time. So just to show you that to some degree, this current empire that we see now, this Western world, starting with, America, not starting with America, but, America being that top superpower on the earth, you know, this Western world has a very great influence on the entire planet Earth. And this is why when you go into the Mid East, the women, they're destroyed to some degree. Women of different cultures, are influenced to some degree morally by the Western world. You know, there was a time when women didn't even wear pants. You know, but until this Western world started, pushing that woman wearing pants, jeans, and stuff like that, the whole world followed. Not fast, but soon the whole world followed to some degree. Not there was a time polygamy was okay on the earth, man. But because of Esau, so-called white man, you know, taught or demonized that, you know. So considering the wickedness or the darkness of the earth now, it's all because of the so-called white man and the spiritual demon Satan. And that's not to say that that's not to take blame from people in general. No, going from the time of Adam, Adam, he had an evil heart, as is mentioned in the book of Esdras, second Esdras, right? It speaks about on how he had a malignant root, referring to his mind, man. And that's why he was overcome. That's why he was bewitched, and took of that fruit. And that's why he was made mortal. And we were made mortal as well, because we all descended from him. But we also didn't inherit that mortality. These mortal bodies, we also inherited the evil heart. That's why by nature we're wicked. We're all wicked. All nations are wicked. You know? You know? So, people do wickedness and they sin. The blame is not all on Sin and Esau. No. They did it. So they're going to have to, receive the recompense of their wickedness. You know? But just showing you, hey, things are spiritual, man. You know, Jake's be, hey, folks and don't care about these other nations. Only, talking to Israel, man. Jake's be having spirits on them. You know, Jake have been programmed. We all were programmed. You know, growing up, ever since we came out of the womb, was programmed. You know, it was a very slow process, but an effective one, man. You know, you got your Kia boys, Jake running into cars, man. Your fentanyl smoking, alcohol drinking, females, man. Your feminism, believing, bullshit. Man, hey, that's all Satan, man. And Esau played damn part, a big part in it, man. Especially America, which is an Edomite power system. You can go downstairs.